Let's talk about colors. You want two types of colors. First is a buckle collar. It can come in a variety of materials. The fabric one or the leather one, nylon, whatever. So these colors are not made for training. These are mainly for identification. So if you have an untrained dog, you better have him a leather buckle collar and the leather buckle collars come with the metal buckle. So when your dog is already trained, then you can switch to the plastic one. That will not make big of a difference because the dog is already trained to listen to you. The main purpose of a buckle collar is identification. You just put a tag on it. You never walk your dog on a buckle collar before the dog was trained, and you never train the dog in a buckle collar. Second type of collar that you will want to have is a training collar, and you use it only when you train it. Do not leave it on for any other time because the dog may choke himself out accidentally. So why do you need a special collar for training? The training depends on the amount of attention that your dog pays on you, so you can communicate what you want from the dog. The training collar allows to communicate with your dog. There are several types of training collars. The slip-ons are very dangerous, so I would not recommend having it. Plus, the slip knots just go down to the shoulders and it becomes very ineffective. The two effective training collars are: first one is a snap around collar. It has two loops, live loop and a dead loop. You have to put it very correctly so that the dog will understand your communication in a most effective manner. The correct placement of the collar is right behind ears, so it has to be on the very top of the neck. You have to measure your dog's circumference of that portion, and you have to buy the collar that fits its exact measurement. The company that sells them is selling it in a half-inch increment. The company name is Handcraft Collars. The advantages of the snap around collar is that it's cheap, it's effective, and it's relatively safe. The disadvantage is that you will have to buy a new one when the dog grows up. The second type of training collar, this is my favorite one, is a pinch collar, widely known as a prong collar. The main disadvantage, and it's probably the only disadvantage, is that it looks like a medieval torture device. However, this is the safest training collar you can get because you don't need a lot of pressure for the dog to understand that you need his attention. It is self-controlling in terms of depth. It doesn't push against trachea like a slip knot does. So you, of course, with the training collars, you need to understand that you are using the collar for the attention. You have to be able to put just enough pressure so that the dog experiences discomfort and switches attention towards handler. So when used properly, prong collars are the safest, and it's been proven by the chiropractors. So advantages of the prong collar is that it's safest, it's the most effective. The disadvantages, again, scary looks. and price. The main advantage of a prong collar is that it is the most humane, especially considering with the reactive dogs, or dogs scientifically called with high prey drive. This is the only way to train them. And if the dog is well trained, it will save the dog's life by not being surrendered or euthanized if we're talking about the kill shelter. So the timing of the training collars, you put it on. After 2 hours you train. After you finished training, you leave it for 2 hours and then you take it off. It will avoid the dog being collar-wise, that is performing commands only when the collar is on. Prong collars supposed to be placed correctly, just like a snap around collar. Prong collars do come in 3 sizes. Disregard large size as it is probably made for elephants. So the big dogs will require the medium-sized prong collar. Golden retriever sized dogs will need a small prong collar. And the toy dogs will need a micro prong collar. And then you adjust the size. If you need to take one link out to shorten it, do it. If you need to bring the link back, you just push hard and then you do this.